Good morning, good afternoon, and a very happy Monday, guys. Hope everybody is doing well. Look who we've got with us. It's Az. Hello, Az. How are you doing, honey?
Hi. I'm all right. I turned the volume down because you said it was going to be really loud, and then I heard like a little voice in my head, which I'm quite used to, I must confess. But it's like, this is not the voice that I'm used to listening to. And then it was like, oh no, we started. Because I was listening to the other screen that I got going. Hi.
Hi. Hi. Good to see you.
Hi.
So, before we jump straight in, because I know we've got a lot to talk about, because I saw you tweeting about it yesterday, and I thought, ha, we've got him. He enjoyed the show.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna grass you up now.
All right, go on then. Grass me up.
So, last Sunday, not the Sunday just gone, last Sunday, 10:30 at night, Purple Valkyrie texts me, says, hey, have you watched Cobra Kai? I'm like, I'm halfway through the first episode. Just go and watch it all and be on tomorrow's show. And I was like, I'll if I can, I will. I'll get back to you in the morning.
To be fair, I also said, you know what, just take your time with it. Don't rush through it. Sip it like it's a fine wine. I don't want you to kind of bomb through it and, you know, not enjoy it, because there's only 40 episodes.
I know. Well, I've already seen seasons 1 to 3. It's season 4 that I hadn't. But yeah, when I decided yesterday to I was like, right, I'm getting harassed by people to watch shows, you know, and it's getting like fucking annoying now. So I was just like, right, I'm gonna have to crack through some of these shows I'm getting harassed about. So I was like, right, it's either Arcane or Cobra Kai. And I thought, I want to watch Cobra Kai.
To be fair, I've heard great things about Arcane as well, so I will be watching that one. But like you say, there's so much stuff to watch at the moment, and not that that's a bad thing. That's great, but you just keep getting these recommendations from everybody. It's like, guys, there's only so much time.
Yeah, because I think, and I say that in the nicest way possible. When you're not on doing a video or a stream, people just think you're there going, you know, until it's time to go live. Then you're like, hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. Today, you know, I think, but no, you know, more often than not, we're planning something, setting something up, researching something, watching something, and then you got to give yourself a little bit of time as well.
You do, yeah. You have to have a little bit of a break away from the YouTube life. Definitely.
Time is a premium, but hey, look, you know, the audience they're excited for you to watch stuff, and you know, I try and get through as much as I can in as quick a time as possible. And whenever they get moody at me, I can always throw a Batwoman review out.
Yeah, that really teaches them, absolutely.
Just to placate them, you know. Then all is forgiven for a bit.
I think they just like to see you suffer.
But without doubt.
Before we jump into it, let me say hello to everybody, because we have got a great crowd this morning. We've got a lot of people in, so welcome everybody. I've seen some new names, so very warm welcome. Great to see you. And quickly, just right off the bat, let me say a massive thank you to the Uber Geek. He sends us a £10 super chat. It says, Cobra Kai never dies, but there's someone I wish would die. Sam LaRusso.
Oh,
Feel free to disagree. But to me, she's the embodiment of liberal elitism and genuine privilege in California.
We'll get into it all. Don't worry, we'll get into it.
We will, absolutely. I like Sam, but I've got to admit, Sam, Tori, yeah, I'm gonna go with the other girl. But that's nothing against the actress. I think
I'll talk about it when my time comes, because I got stuff to say about the kids.
Well, let's jump into it. You said that this was the first time when I harassed you last week and said, you know, have you watched this show? Was this literally the first episode you were on, or did you mean you were on the first episode of the 4th season?
First episode of 4th season.
Okay, all right.
But I don't just started, and then I thought I was like halfway through, but when I came to binge it, I was like 5 minutes in or something. I was like, okay, I was not halfway through episode 1. I think they were just talking at the family table or something.
So you had about 20 minutes left of the episode. Good to know. Yeah.
Yeah, I had about 20 minutes of the first episode to go, and then I had 9 more to watch after that. Yeah.
Fair enough. I wasn't sure because I panicked and I thought, oh, this is something he hasn't really gotten into yet. This is something that somebody's recommended. And because people have been, pressuring him to watch it, he's picked it up from the beginning. So I thought, you know what? It's fine.
Just gravy, baby.
Enjoy it as just take your time with it and savor it. And I'm really glad that you did, because I saw you tweeting yesterday, as I said, and you seemed to really, really enjoy it. Almost like you were surprised that it was such a good show.
No. I mean, I'd enjoyed the first 3 seasons. I mean, I think in terms of quality, they went in sequential order: season 1, season 2, season 3.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just, I really thought that season 4 elevated it right back up again.
Yes.
And I enjoyed season 4 probably as much as I enjoyed season 1. I really did think it was, they really did get, when I say back on track, there was a couple of things in season 3 which they were kind of playing with it, which was a little bit, but they seem to just like quash that in season 4. It's like, all right, that's gone. That's gone. Okay. And now we're doing with this stuff again. So it's like, okay, cool. This is actually quite, well, I was quite surprised by some of the, when I say bolder decisions, I mean, imagine taking somebody's girlfriend who went and got a girlfriend and then making her dump the girlfriend and go back to the boyfriend. It's like,
yeah, it's not a love triangle we've got going on.
Yeah. So little things like that. And then I thought they handled Tori so much better in season 4 than season 3.
I did as well. Yeah, I thought she was becoming a very kind of cookie cutter, almost bland character. She was just the bad girl. There was no depth to her.
Yeah, she was on the verge of just being bad girl. And then this season gave her a lot more depth. And, well, to be honest with you, I mean, I thought the greatest strength of the season was the kids. Because all the kids, like, it's so easy to have, like, we got the bad kids versus the good kids. We got the Cobra Kai's versus the Miyagi dojo. And no, it was really good how the majority of the kids had a lot of complexity about them. Robbie, I thought, was really good in this season.
Yes,
I thought they handled him really well, and they gave him more complexity and fleshed out his character. And I'm just, as a middle-aged man, this is pathetic, but I'm just like, go Robbie and Tori, go. Go Robbie and Tori, go. I'm like, I don't want Robbie to go anywhere near little, Samantha Russo. I don't want that at all. I want Robbie and Tori. I think they really work because I think they're so kind of different, and yet at the same time they have a lot a lot of commonality as well. And so it was great to see that Robbie wasn't like the villain in this series. And Tori wasn't the villain in this series. And in actual fact, I think they purposely made Samantha more provocative this season, as in, and that's, I mean, that's, to me, that's the great thing, because the kids, they're all kids. None of these kids in this show, there's nothing that a little bit of course correction in their fictitious lives couldn't just put them on the right path. None of these kids are like damaged or evil. Beyond,
exactly.
No, there's just no way that this kid's going to amount to anything. No. All of them. And like with Tori was trying so hard this season to get work and get a job and help her mom. I'm shipping away here. And yet it was Samantha who was fucking that up for her, And that was not very, that's not nice. Samantha had no empathy for Tori's position because she just saw her as bad girl. Whereas even Samantha's mum
do you think
was
that
there to try and help.
comes from like the super chat that we had? Do you think that comes from the privilege that she's grown up with, or do you think that's just because she's 16? 16s are kind of like that.
I think
the one thing that they do very well is the characterization of the kids. They don't make them seem a lot older than they actually are. They are believable.
Like Miguel's quite a mature character for his age. And Miguel seems to be more classically, I'm kind of, I want to be on the right track as a character. Samantha has, she's got all the privileges that she wants. I don't know if it's elitism, but I think when you're a kid, when you have an enemy at school, then you do tend to focus them as that you're my nemesis. You're and ultimately it's just a nonity at times. I think she's just kind of, I think there's also resentment there because she took Robbie from her, and even though she's with Miguel, I still think she kind of has feelings for Robbie as well. And
I think they capture that very well. It's a very kind of a cattiness that you do get with women that they've brought out.
All I remember as a teenager, around 16, 17 years old, was everything meant the world when it was probably nothing. Looking back now, it's just like nothing. But my emotions, you're going through puberty, you're going through adolescence, your hormones are going crazy. As a dude, you're just getting boners out of nowhere, You're just being physics and suddenly you get a fucking boner. And it's just like, why am I getting a boner in physics? It's just like, this is not right. And it's just, I don't get turned on by quadratic equations and shit.
At least not anymore. No.
At least, well, now I do. I mean, that's a personal favorite of mine. But, in those days, it was, your emotions are so, heightened and I think it was just sort of, I see Samantha growing out of it. I see her growing out of it. And, but it was kind of refreshing that they, kind of not turned the Russos into bad guys, but they turned the Russo kids into flawed kids.
Yes, the one thing they do very, very well is there's no kind of black and white characters within the show. Even the people that you're supposed to hate, like Kreese and Silver when he's introduced, you can't help but like them because they are charismatic, and you can kind of see where they're coming from. And this all stems back to the idea that, maybe that Daniel was the bully after all. He's the one that moved in on Johnny's girl back in the film, in the first Karate Kid.
But at 56 years of age, he's got to have moved on from there, really.
Yeah, you'd think so, but people hold a grudge.
Kreese was great this series because he'd been quite stereotypical in the previous seasons, and then this season, they gave him a little something, and when they were talking about weaknesses, and Silver said, Kreese has got a weakness as well. Sensei Kreese has got a weakness as well. And he's sort of like, he was kind of like, what are you talking about?
What the hell?
And he was right. He does have a secret, and it's a weakness, and his weakness is Johnny. And it was kind of cute in a way. That you're just like, oh my god, Kreese actually does have this flaw, and it's because Johnny was his boy. You were my numero uno student, and once I saw
me. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't. I don't think it was that it betrayed him. It was just like when he, like you said, when Johnny got like hit by Danny, and he was just like, for the first time he saw fear in him, which he'd never seen before. So there was this sort of like, I think I had created the perfect student, but no, I hadn't. He was still a kid, and he still had flaws of a kid, and I wanted him to be, either me or better than me, or So there's a kind of paternal, a weird and twisted, for sure, but there's this weird and twisted paternal aspect still to Kreese and Johnny.
There is, yeah, and that's one of the things that I think they've picked up on really well and have shown throughout all 4 seasons, this kind of, you need a strong male role model in your life, whether it comes from either actual fathers or whether it's from father figures that the kids have found. We even had it in season 4 where Robbie's trying to take the younger kid Kenny under his wing and kind of teach him, almost become that role model to him. It's a repeating pattern that we see throughout the show, and I think they've really picked up on it very well.
Yeah, I mean, you can call it the pattern of abuse as well, because even though Robbie had the right intentions, he was still treating the kid like a Cobra Kai.
Yes.
So he was still teaching him the ways of Cobra Kai, which are not, really how things should be. A little bit too aggressive and
a little bit underhanded.
Yeah, and it just kind of came across. I mean, ultimately that cost Robbie the final because the way he saw the kid, just like the bloodlust almost when he was like fighting Hawk. It's just like. And he's kind of like, whoa, what have I done?
Created a monster.
I've created this little monster. But I mean, he was a great, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was a great little character in as much as
Kenny, I think it was.
Kenny. You thought that he would, like, he came on and you could easily be forgiven for thinking, oh, this is like the little victim. He's getting picked on, he's getting laughed at. He's got a lot of energy. He's fun. He play video games. He dances. He's a cool little kid. His father's in the army. His brother's in juvie.
Yes, so that's a nice tie-in.
Yeah, he's the man of the house. And so you thought, oh, he's kind of like going to be the victim of the series. And it was interesting the way that they turned him into the bully. At the end, he turned into the bully. I
would say he's turned into the bully. I would say he was turned into something that he certainly shouldn't have been. But he was so harassed by LaRusso's kid because Anthony turns out to be such a little shit in this season.
He's horrible.
You can
type.
fully see what he turned. Yes.
But in all fairness, though, Anthony at the end, he does go and apologize mono a mono. Yeah. So. He does try and give this legitimate apology and say, hey, let's wipe the slate clean and start. And Kenny's just like, fuck off, mate. And that's when he starts kicking the shit out of him. It's just like, I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to bully the shit out of you. And then you're sort of like, oh no, Kenny, no. Oh, you
Kenny,
bastard.
Kenny, come back to the light side.
Yeah. You're falling to the dark side. But Kenny got a taste of power, and that's how he decided to utilize it. But
that seems to be the way of Cobra Kai, though, isn't it? I mean, if we look at the characters that they've had, they get this kind of taste of power, and it kind of goes to their head. Not that that's a terrible thing, they are taught a much more aggressive style, which is shown in the tournament, and they have to figure out, Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang have to work out how to combat this extra aggression that's coming at them.
Well, that comes with age. These are kids, and without trying to patronize, these are kids and they're sort of raw. So, they're being taught powerful techniques, and they can legitimately hurt people. They can truly hurt people, and that's why the interesting thing, of course, in this series was Danny was always trying to say that karate is for defense. That is the Miyagi-Do way. It's about defense. It's not aggression. And ultimately, the sort of thing was, well, you got to have a balance. Yes. There's got to be a balance here of aggression and defense. There's got to be a time that you do take the initiative and launch into an attack, and versus being reactionary.
Yes,
Because when you're reactionary, all kinds of things can happen.
And I was so glad that the characters, you know, we had Sam and then we had Hawk, both realizing at the end of the day that there has to be a balance. They have to find their own path. It's no good them following just the teachings of Danny or just the teachings of Johnny, because they need both to succeed. And I thought they really kind of brought that message home.
Yeah, I thought they were going to do. I thought something special was going to happen to Hawk. Yes. Because throughout the whole series, he was kind of really subdued and just didn't have confidence in himself, was getting, he wasn't acting the way that we'd seen that confident Hawk. And so I was just thinking to myself, there was a part when they were in the tournament at the end, and there was a part where Hawk went, I'm gonna go and win the whole damn thing. The whole fucking thing. No, he goes, the whole fucking thing in front of Danny's face. I'm gonna win the whole fucking thing. And when he said that, I was just like, now that this is wrestling psychology. This is Hawk the babyface, and he's making a promise. He's promising to win the tournament. And when a babyface promises to do something, always comes true. So I was like, Hawk's gonna go on and win now. So I was convinced that Hawk was going to go on and win, and this is before Miguel had even fought in his quarterfinal or semifinal. So I was just like, oh, that's what they're going to do. They're going to have Hawk win the male, and then Tori versus Sam for the final of the women's, and then I wasn't entirely sure what was going to happen there.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a letdown for me, because you always knew that it was going to be between those two characters, even though they brought on other female characters. I was like, just kind of get to the point and get these two in the ring together, get them fighting.
Yeah, because I thought they were going to put the Asian lass. I thought they were going to put against the other girl from Cobra Kai.
Yes,
and they were going to give her a win to give her some, proper legitimacy for the tournament. Then they were going to put her up against Tori. But no, they kind of like Tori just wiped the floor with her. And it's like, okay.
She did.
Okay, maybe. But there again, but you're just like, yeah, but she only had 6 weeks to train anyway. And Tori's been doing this for a long time. And so I was like, okay, yeah, I mean, it subverted my expectations in the right kind of way. I didn't, it didn't go the way that I thought it was going to go, and I do like it when that happens. Man, I just loved it. I loved it.
Before we kind of carry on, I think it's worth it to be a little bit more balanced. And people have said that this is very light entertainment. This is something that's basically a kind of soap opera. It's not really deep. It's not something that you have to really think about. I think a lot of them are missing the point. It is a fun show, and that's pretty much all people want at the moment. We just want something that we can sit down and enjoy, and do something like this where we can geek out about it and say how much we love a show.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is a soap opera at all. I think this deals with themes thematically far better than a soap opera. Our characters are like, Johnny's a very flawed character, and we're still rooting for him every time. Yes. Like, he's borderline alcoholic, if not an alcoholic that, we don't really know. And that bit where Miguel walks in and he's just like passed out on his floor again from alcohol, and Miguel takes him to bed, puts him into bed, and Johnny's just like, I just wanted to be a father to you. I just wanted to be a father to you. And Miguel's sort of like, his heart's kind of like melting, because it's like, he wants that family unit.
Yes, he does.
And he loves Johnny as a sort of surrogate father as well. And then when Johnny went, thank you, Robbie, and Miguel just sort of like burst, he's just like bursting stairs. I was just like, oh, Miguel.
So sad.
I thought that was just so well done, and it wasn't contrived. And I think the lad that plays Miguel just did a great job with that scene. And The whole business with his mom and not knowing his dad, and yeah, you know, and Tori, I mean, Tori's going through shit. She's going through a lot of shit. And like way too much shit for a kid to handle. And that's what you have to understand. She's 17 in the show. She's like 24 in real life, but she's 17 in the show. And so it's just for a kid to process and have to deal with a dying mother, basically a sponging aunt who's just taking all of the, who's just taking all of the welfare, trying to earn money, trying to go to school, trying to have some discipline in her life. You know, it's no wonder Tori acts the way that she acts. And it was great. It was really good to see Robbie act as that. Just a little like Robbie had matured a lot more this season, and kind of was a bit of an anchor for her this season. And so I was shipping them. I was like, come on, you know, you deserve it. You when it says you deserve each other, I mean that in a positive way, not a.
I did like when they turned up at the prom. I thought that was a great scene, and then you can see bless you. You can see the jealousy coming between Miguel and Sam as well, keeping an eye on them while they're dancing together, and then it kind of escalates outside. I thought that was a really good scene.
Yeah, I mean, they did the great dance. The song, I thought the song when they were dancing was fucking awesome. I need to find out what that song was because I need a little bit of that sort of like 80s throwback music.
The music in the show is fantastic and has such a good soundtrack.
But it was great because they turned up, you know, in the borrowed car and the borrowed clothes. Thank you. Appreciate that. I didn't. There's maybe more to come. I'm not sure. And the thing is, though, they were like, what made me really gravitate towards Tori and Robbie this season, as opposed to really Miguel and Sam, is that when I was rooting for them with what was going on with them, but when they turned up to the party in the borrowed car and the borrowed clothes, and they thought we are, you know, we're the bee's knees. And, you know, they did the dance to kind of show off and to piss off Miguel and Sam and all this kind of stuff. And then when they went back to the car, they kind of realized they didn't need any of it because they just needed each other. You know, it was us that's making this work. And I just thought that was great. I just thought it was really, really kind of cool.
They really do have great chemistry together. I mean, all of the cast seem to really enjoy what they do. That, you know, the chemistry that we've got between Johnny and Danny is always funny. One of my favorite scenes was when they're finally squaring off against each other, and they're getting hits in, and it's level peggings, and then it comes down to the final hit, and they both knock each other out.
Yeah, both. Yeah,
it's just.
I kind of thought that was going to happen, but still.
Yeah, it was still fun.
Yeah, it was. I liked it when they looked to see the replay and who knocked out who first, and then Johnny went, "Can you go to another angle?" And it's like, it's a mobile phone. There is no other angle. It's
just one person filming.
Yeah. But that's Johnny. Johnny's just great.
He is.
So really I thought the kids were absolutely kids. I mean, they're young adults in real life, but
yeah, they are.
The kids were just great this series. So much better. Hawk was like he was utilized sparingly, but when he was used brilliant. You know, really, really well, and you know, taking his mohawk this season from him, and all this kind of stuff. Wasn't even into leopard
skin until this, yeah.
I bet, dirty boy. Don't worry, she's 24 in real life. You're okay. So yeah, but again, the adults took a bit of a back. Well, Danny and his wife kind of took a little bit of a back seat this series, and even Johnny and his girlfriend took a little bit of a backseat this series, and it was really kind of focusing more on the kids this time around. And like I say, I think repairing. Like, I liked season 3, but there were bits where I was like, eh. But they just sort of like repaired the whole ship this time around, and I just not particularly anything I can fault.
No, I thought season 1 was probably some of the best TV I've ever seen. I thought season 2 and 3 kind of dipped down a little bit. Not terrible, not at all. Still, I would say a strong 8. But season 4 brought it back up to the level of season 1, and I was so happy that it did, because I was very worried when it went onto Netflix. I was thinking, is this the end? Are they going to, make them change it? Is it going to go woke? Because, we have that knee-jerk reaction now. Is it going to happen? But they brought kind of elements in, but they did it in such a funny way that they were clearly poking fun at it. And I absolutely love that.
Yeah, I did like the when they had the girl who was gender fluid or whatever, and he's like, Johnny's just like, yeah, we don't care, we got plenty of room for guys and girls at Cobra Kai. And she's like, what about fluids? And he's just like, fluids are very important when you
have to keep hydrated. Yes. I think the other one, she said, I'm asexual, and he's pointing over to Miguel. It's like, he's sexual too. Look at him.
He's a sexual. There's a sexual. Everyone's yeah. And then she went over to Cobra Kai, and Johnny's just like, I learned feminism for this.
They gave him some of the best lines in this. Like you say, he wasn't as used in the season as he has in previous seasons, but I would still say he had some of the best lines that he came out with. And when he starts using the when they all start yelling quiet, so you get Johnny yelling it, and then you get Danny yelling it, and they've all picked this up from Grease.
Yeah, but yeah, speaking of which, we saw we had the return of Mr. Silver, from Karate Kid 3. Yes. And he's a tofu eating
piano playing
woke ass hipster friends. When that guy, I mean, that's another thing, when that guy's like looking at Chris like, and he's just like, what are you looking at? He's gonna punch his fucking face in for,
When he said he had a Habsburg jaw, that cracked me up.
Oh yeah. Oh, you have a Habsburg jaw. It is like almost perfect.
Yeah,
I was expecting it to just go.
Not a compliment. Yeah.
No, but it was yeah, that was kind of interesting, because he's like, he's got this beautiful house. He has this beautiful woman. He's got everything that he appears superficially to need. He doesn't. He has his own chef. But even then, he had he has his issue. He's taking medication, and he's clearly taking medication for trauma, PTSD, trauma. That he's still absolutely traumatized by being in Vietnam, even though he's only 4 years older than Johnny in reality. But he's very, he's still traumatized by Vietnam. And when the chef was trying to light the creme brulee, that triggered flashbacks, and you could tell that this was a very damaged guy. And the way that they explained Karate Kid 3 was really clever, saying that I was just off my head on cocaine, and I
what
was
the hell was I doing? Yeah,
I was tormenting a kid, for God's sake. What was I doing? And then it just showed all the moments where he's literally in the film just going, just like acting completely mental, as if to say, look, this is just me off my tits on cocaine. And I thought that was just such a clever way. Yeah, it's such a clever way to do it. Instead of just being like, oh, he's a mustache twirling villain. No, he's a cokehead. He was a monster cokehead in the 80s who had money, power, young, and And yeah, he was just off his bonds on coke. So that was a really clever way of sort of passing that off. And as the coke had gone, maybe that was a coping mechanism for the trauma. Now that the show sort of offered these ideas up, maybe it was the coke that was that was another how he was self-medicating.
Yes, another coping mechanism that he came up with. Yes, I thought it was great, and I thought, let's see, what was his name? It was Thomas Ian Griffith played Silver. I thought he absolutely was the star of the show for this. I wasn't sure whether it was a good idea to bring him back because Karate Kid 3 is arguably not the best of the films. No. I mean, they got steadily worse, but still at this point. But to see his interactions with Kreese and to see that Kreese still has this power over him after so many years and he holds this life debt over him, and to have Kreese come back into his life and just have it spiral out of control once more, I thought it was so well done.
Yeah, I did like there's some really clever subtle bits of storytelling where his phone goes off at one point and he picks up his phone and all it is messages from his missus. There's no responses from him. And if you paused and read the messages from the missus, it's just like they start off normal and they're just like, are you ignoring me? Have I done something wrong?
Yeah,
it gradually goes down like that. And it's just clever. And again, he just looks at the message and he just puts his phone down. He's just like, no, I got important karate shit to deal with now.
Yes. It's back to the 80s and we're building karate schools. Absolutely.
Yeah, but he was But his story was always about living in the past.
Yes.
Kreese was forcing him to live in the past with the constant reminder of if it wasn't for him, he'd be dead in Vietnam now. And then it was, you owe me. You said that you would owe me for the rest of your life. And then it was like, come back to Cobra Kai. So it was all very much forcing Terry Silver to go back into the past, live back in the past. And I think there was I don't know if he's still continuing with his medication, but there seemed to be some sort of almost regression within him, that he was almost pushing himself back into the past.
You could see he was going back because he started tying his hair back the way it used to be when he was younger.
I was waiting for that scene.
And it's like, yes, how much is this Kreese pushing you and how much is this you being willingly led down this path again because you want to recapture or reclaim the glory that you had?
I thought he was going to dye his hair black at one point. I thought he was gonna do that and just go full on Terry Silver, I was like, oh my god, it's gonna start off with him putting his hair back into a ponytail and then he's gonna dye it, and then by the end of the season it's gonna be black. And but they didn't go that far. Maybe the actor's just like, no.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't. I mean, it's he's clearly aged well, but these guys are
very well.
They need to look their age, definitely.
Well, he needs to look older. That's just the thing. He needs, because they refer to the fact that Johnny's in his 50s in the series. So this guy's got to be somewhere in his late 60s, maybe early 70s. I don't know. And he's just turned 60 in real life. So yeah, he's looking great for his age, really good for his age. Yeah, just imagine if he did dye his hair, it'd probably take 20 years off him as well. He'd look younger than me. I'd be well fucked.
Tell me about it. I know the feeling. We've had a couple of messages in the chat and I've been watching the chat. You guys are on fire as always, and we'll get to the super chats in just a little bit. So thank you guys. People have been talking about other characters they're going to be brought back. Mike Barnes is one that they keep mentioning. I think it's pretty much going to be a given for the next season that we're going to see Mike Barnes in some capacity. Do you think?
Who was Mike Barnes? I'm trying to remember.
He was the kind of crazy contract killer that they got. To take them out. He was like the rabid dog that he had.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can see this. No problem. I mean, Kreese looks like he's gonna be I mean, there's a possibility that Kreese is going to join the good guys next season. Maybe.
God, I hope they don't. I know. I can see it going in that direction, but I really hope not. I like Kreese these years. But that was
yeah,
such
of course,
a huge
Barnes
betrayal.
was his psycho boy, wasn't it? Oh, my lord.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Bring it. Yeah, because it was quite funny because they kind of did a meta joke in the show. Where I think it was his wife says to Danny's wife says to him, "Is there any more skeletons in your closet?" And he's just like, "No." Well, actually, there's possibly a couple. It's just like
a few more. Uber Geek says, "What about Hilary Swank?" Oh God.
Oh, hey, don't rule that out. Do not rule that out. I would not be surprised at all if Hilary Swank didn't make an appearance in the next season.
Well, they got the lady that played Ali, and she's technically retired from acting to come back and reprise the role. So like you say, I wouldn't put it past them.
What, with Elizabeth Shue?
Hmm?
I didn't know she'd retired.
I thought she had. I thought she wasn't acting anymore.
But that was great. I mean, and that came up this season as well, and they did, they kind of dodged that one quite nicely, and yeah, there was some great little moments, and I love the I really did enjoy that ending bit with the gravestone and Mr. Miyagi, and
yes, having chosen come back, that was good.
Because I thought he was done after last season. That's it, he's just made his little cameo and trained Danny, and then Danny's gone back to the States, but having him come over and
yes. And I think that's a testament to the writers, to how good they actually are and how well they know these characters, to be able to bring them back and to interweave them into a story, 30 plus years after this has happened, really shows talent, and it's believable as well.
Well, I think what Danny's going to do is he's going to have him take over Miyagi-Do.
Mm-hmm.
So because Danny can't be a sensei doesn't mean that Miyagi-Do has to close.
Yes, he's going to bend the rules.
Yeah, so he's going to twist the rules, and we all saw that they cheated anyway. Silver paid off the ref who should have given Tori a point deduction. Even though she should have had a point deducted, but I absolutely believe that Tori did it on accident.
Yes, I do as well. I don't think it was an intentional hit to the eye.
And then when Silver's just like, do it again, and then Kreese brings her over and is just like, you do what you've trained to do, and you know what to do. And so it was kind of good that, and then Tori, of course, got her points after that legit. But I think I got a feeling that Kreese may be on I think they're setting Kreese up for a redemption arc.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they're either going to set him up for a redemption arc, or he's going to absolutely bring the wrath of hell down upon Silver. It's one or the other. Maybe he'll bring Barnes back. You never know. Maybe it's Kreese that brings Barnes back. I don't know.
That would be an interesting idea. I mean, Silver did hint that there's somebody that he's going to bring back to help take care of Cobra Kai, whilst you're dealing with your legal troubles, he said. But it might not be Barnes, as you say. It might, in fact, be Kreese that brings him back.
No, I got a feeling it could be Barnes after. But yeah, I mean, oh man, this show can this is the beauty of the show, because it can take a character that's just so bizarre from the previous films, and then just absolutely turn them into a great character, because they've got more time to fiddle with it, and they could have this kid just like, we pepped him up on speed and amphetamines and all kinds of fucking shit, This guy wasn't energy drinking, he was amphetamine pumping, so
yes. He's eating bath salts, yeah.
But Hillary, look, I still think Hilary Swank is very much a card on the table.
I think so too. I don't think she would be brought back for the entire run, but I think as a couple of episodes, I think I could definitely see her coming back. Absolutely.
Well, I remember watching, I don't tend to do this, for some reason I just decided to, But after season 3, because Elizabeth Shue did appear,
Mm-hmm.
and with her obviously having such an important part, in the franchise before that, I watched. They did like a post Cobra Kai show.
Oh yeah, kind of like the breakdown shows that they do.
And they had Elizabeth Shue on, and she was just like gushing of how much fun it was just to do. And she legitimately just seemed to be so sort of excited and happy to have done this and just come back for this small piece. But Hilary Swank, you could just see, maybe I'll just come back for a little bit. Maybe they'll bring her in and she'll be somebody that might put Sam on the straight and narrow a little bit more, or maybe Tori.
Yes. I think that would work really well. Definitely.
I think it would work better with Tori than it would. I
think
with...
so. I mean, they tried it with Amanda. She's trying to be the mother. She's trying to get through to Tori because she genuinely just feels sorry for her, and because of the way that she's written and the way that she's played, you can't help but feel sorry for her either, even though she can be a real nasty piece of work. But I think, if you brought Hilary Swank back and she was that kind of character.
I don't see Tori as nasty. I just see Tori as damaged.
Mm-hmm.
I just see her as damaged and lashing out everywhere. And like you saw the way that Tori did respond to Danny's wife, and it was, there was that structured element for the very short period of time. You could see that she wanted to fit back into that family unit and have that parental sort of guidance there and structure there. And I think it probably would, if Hilary Swank came back, I think it would work better to put her with Tori. And maybe work on a story there.
By the time this show's over, it's going to be in a cast of thousands. They'll have just brought everybody back in.
Why not?
That's a bad thing.
Why not?
Well.
Is that a bad thing? I don't think so.
Not at all.
Every character they brought back, they've handled brilliantly. Now, if they're just bringing people back and they were, useless, you'd be like, okay. But no, they've been handled very, very well indeed, and maybe if they bring Mike Barnes back, maybe he's just like a hiree of Silver. He just doing it for the money. Man, it's just been so good. It's just been so fucking good.
It is. I was surprised. I mean, I liked the Karate Kid, the films, but they are very, very 80s. It's very 80s cheese. And I've actually gone back and rewatched them. Well, at least the first 3. I haven't watched the rest of them yet, but I will do. But I was surprised just how well they've adapted. You don't get many films, and then you have a TV adaptation that works as well as Cobra Kai has done. I mean, we had MASH and we've had Buffy, but I still think that Cobra Kai has absolutely blown them out of the water.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you how, because if you think about it, it's such a bizarre concept.
It is.
That in the nice, rich valleys of San Francisco, there's dojos going to war, and it's such an incredible idea. And when I heard that YouTube, because it was initially on YouTube, of course, a YouTube production.
Right, yep.
When I heard that they were bringing Cobra Kai back, I was just like, why? They're going to do a series of Cobra Kai, and it's going to be set in current day, but it's going to have the characters from the previous show. And I was just like, but
who
why?
Asked for this?
This sounds bizarre. And then of course you started to hear that this show is actually really good. And then I think after the second season, I picked it up just as the third season was starting. So I was like, okay. And then I watched that first season. I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. this is really, really clever. And because obviously the first season's kind of painted Danny as the bad guy, you know?
Yeah.
Because he was like you said, he was the instigator
He
in a
was the
lot of the
instigator.
problems.
I mean, you can kind of see where it's coming from, and there's the argument, as I mentioned earlier, and back and forth. You know, was Johnny really the bad guy? Was Danny the bad guy? But that's the way these characters are written. There is no kind of black and white. You're left up as the audience to decide who is in the wrong in the end, and ultimately, it's all of them.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the beauty. There's no one who is just like out and out bad or out and out good. Everyone has a flaw. Everyone has something. And the kids this season, for instance, they were, you know, Sam, she was quite goody, and then this season she I think she made a lot of mistakes.
Yes.
But at the same time, she made mistakes that kids would make. And so you can't look at them really and criticize the kids too harshly, because like I said, any slight course correction with them would just put them on the straight and narrow. And with all of these characters.
Oh yeah, none of them are so far gone that they couldn't be redeemed.
Yeah, there was none of that at all. And it's nice to see complexity of character. It's nice to see that they're not afraid to kind of get rid of the tropes of good and bad and play with shades of gray, because they're writing those shades of gray so well. Robbie last season, bit of a prick, made a lot of bad choices. This season seemed to mature a lot and understand it, and like from the first time he was brought on, instead of being with Cobra Kai, it was just like, I didn't say I was gonna fight, for you or with you and all this sort of stuff. So it took a bit for Kreese to kind of talk him back into it. And then when he came back to Cobra Kai, he wasn't a sheep of Kreese. He did seem to have changed and grown up a bit and matured a bit and sort of understood the situation between, whether or not it broke his heart, but the situation between his father and Miguel and Kreese, and all that kind of stuff. And
you can see him becoming his own man, which is really good. He's, like you say, he's not a carbon copy of the people that have had the biggest influence on him in his life. What
can you do? It's good stuff. It's good stuff,
and I can't wait for the next season.
It's already filmed.
It's filmed. People were talking in the chat, and I was watching. They're saying there's definitely going to be a season 6, and I believe that there is absolutely. Somebody said that hopefully there's going to be 8 seasons. If they could, get to 8 seasons, that would be great. But
the half-hour episodes, they're not
good.
This is how it should be. These are half-hour episodes. These are relatively not short episodes, but there are half-hour episodes, 10 a season. That gives you it gives you time to be more concise and not bloat your show. And they have taken absolutely full. They've just taken just full reign of what they've had to play with, and it's just been awesome.
They have. The one thing I did notice as well, having gone back and rewatched it from the beginning, how much the choreography has improved. The fight scenes, it's so much tighter now. They all clearly, because they've been training and they know exactly what they're doing, it's a lot more believable.
Yeah, there was. I mean, I mean, the tournament was great. Seeing some of those movies, that tornado kick was just like, hello.
That was so good.
But when she did it the first move, I was just like, whoa. Normally that's what's used to finish the fight. But because she'd used it straight away, I was like, well, you're not going to be able to use that again and get away with it. So, yeah, and then she ended up losing to Tori.
Yes, she did. But it was a good one battle.
It was good, and it was great because all the way through that tournament, I liked the way that, if they were adopting the Miyagi-Do and they were having their defense countered, they were just like, what can I do? And then, it's particularly with Hawk, And he's like, well, okay, you know, they've been taught Miyagi-Do, but you know Cobra Kai, so you go back out with Cobra Kai. So he's fighting Robbie to a standstill. And then, you know, you get that, you know, Hawk's kind of got that little bit extra in him as well.
Yes, I did like it when he took his shirt off, because Robbie took his shirt off, so Hawk's not going to be used to them.
But, you know, Hawk's done, you know, he's done it all. He's done Cobra Kai, he's done Miyagi-Do, and he's also done Eagle Fang.
Yes.
So, you know, he's got maybe a little extra in his pocket there.
I really like Hawk. He's one of my favorite characters, and he was one of those, as he progressed throughout the seasons, you couldn't really hate him, but you couldn't really kind of say he's a good guy either. But I think he's had a really interesting character development and character arc. So the
only character I've not bonded with or gravitated towards is Dimitri.
Yeah,
he's
tried too hard for him to be the kind of comic relief, I think.
Yeah, but I'm like, okay, I can forgive that because everyone else is so good, but you know.
Yes, and it was good to see Aisha back as well. I thought that was a nice surprise, because I
just for a little scene,
just a little scene, but it was nice to have her back.
gotta get these cameos back in again.
Girthy Guitarist says, "Love the Hawk sound effect each time." Yeah. It makes me smile as well. Before I get onto the super chats, and a massive thank you to everybody, I know you've been incredibly patient. What would you say to people who have never seen this show before?
Watch it now! If you've never seen Cobra Kai before, just watch the show. And it doesn't even matter if you haven't seen the films from the 80s, because I don't know the last time that I watched Karate Kid. It must be 1990 or something, probably.
It wasn't an IP that I was particularly, attached to. I've got to admit.
I loved it as a kid. I saw it God knows how many times as a kid. But I don't know if you hit like 10, 12, or whatever age you hit, and then suddenly you're not onto Karate Kid anymore. You're on to the next Ghostbusters or whatever.
Yeah, so I remember, the karate craze when it happened, because we were all about the same age and everybody wanted to learn karate.
Karate.
So I definitely remember it, but it wasn't something that I kind of gravitated towards. But I like the films for what they were. And having watched the show, I've gone back and, as I said, rewatched them, and I've got more of an appreciation. And the one thing that I did notice about the show that worked incredibly well is the use of scenes from the films as flashbacks. Even film, scenes that got cut, like the one in the, I think it's in the cafeteria, where the kids, when he makes Danny sit down on a pie.
Sits on the, yeah.
Yeah, and then he just
smears it over. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. I thought that was, really clever. If you're going to have flashbacks and use, previous footage of things, I can't think of a better example of how to do it.
The clever thing, what was really clever about that usage of the cafeteria scene was we initially saw it from the perspective of Johnny.
Yes.
And all we saw was Danny taking the plate and smearing it over him.
Yes.
Because that's how Johnny remembers it. But when Danny thought back to that time, Johnny slipped the plate under Danny's bum, so he sat on it. That's what made him get up and smear. So it's really clever that the way that they have the different perspective that the people remember it, even if it's not true, for what they remember, but it's how they recall it. There's two sides to every story, and and all that.
Exactly.
Sort of
yes, that's
so they're harboring their resentments based off their memories.
My truth.
My truth.
Exactly.
So that sort of stuff is really cleverly done because we have a record of it.
Yes.
And Danny did move in on Johnny's big girlfriend.
Yeah, you can look at it from both perspectives. You can see why Johnny was so pissed, and you can see, why Danny was so taken aback. He's like, dude, I didn't know. It wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
But I love Johnny. I think he's such a great character, and the way that they've used him throughout the seasons. And he was basically a loser in the beginning of the first season, and to see him from where he was then to where he is now, I think it's such a good character arc that they've given him.
Yeah, without compromising what made us love Johnny.
Exactly.
They haven't compromised that at all. But he's become a better person with all his flaws. Which is awesome.
And absolutely, Eagle Fang for life is right. Says there's your truth, his truth, and then there is the truth.
Well, they say there's two sides to every story, and then there's the truth.
Exactly.
That's what they say. That's the saying, I think.
All right. Would you mind if I grab some of these amazing?
Yeah, you go ahead.
All right.
Go. You do it.
So let me grab this one. So we have one from Mexican Iron Man. Good morning, Pappy. Good to see you. He says, it's my two favourite Brits. Happy New Year, and thank you both for all you do to entertain us and bring us joy. Love you both. Love you too.
Thank you, dude. And all the best to you too, man.
Absolutely. Have a fantastic New Year. I know Mexican Iron Man's incredibly busy at the moment because he works so hard, but it's always great to see him.
Isn't it wonderful just to gush about something great?
It is. It's so cathartic. You're so used to, I don't like to be negative about a show, but if I can do a show like this and I can talk to someone who I know, appreciates it and loves it as much as I do, I absolutely love to do these sorts of things. You can be critical and negative about a show, and there's nothing wrong with that. But to be able to do this, it's so much more fun.
Yeah. We've had so much crap recently. It's wonderful to get something that is just legitimately awesome. And from the West as well. Not come from Korea or Japan or wherever. This has come from California, no less. And it's no identity politics, or like, if it is, it's used in comedic fashion and very briefly.
Very briefly and very tongue-in-cheek. Absolutely.
And this is about, they're focused on what the show should be about, which is the kids and the adults and the karate.
Do you think it's fair to say that the show has become so popular because of word of mouth, because people have told other people that this is such a good show, rather than it just being on Netflix from the beginning? Do you think that has had an impact, or do you think it didn't really factor in?
Oh, I think this was on YouTube.
Yeah.
For the first 2 seasons, and I definitely think there was word of mouth that there was this really good show on YouTube that had taken the Karate Kid. Because, like, when was the last time we heard about Karate Kid before that? Will Smith's remake?
Yes, that actually taught Kung Fu.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And I love Jackie Chan, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it's not as if Karate Kid had a positive kind of slant around it at that time, and then to have somebody say, this is YouTube Red, whatever it's called, show at whatever you call it. Yeah. There's this YouTube Red show would have taken the Karate Kid franchise, and they brought back, because what I always used to hear was they brought back the guys from the first Karate Kid movie. And now instead of Johnny being the bad guy, he's the good guy, and it's Danny who's like the bad guy. And that's how I heard about it. And I just heard, it's just one of those things you hear good things, but you just don't get around to watching it. And then when you get around to watching it, it's just like, holy shit. And then you kind of like, I wish I would have seen this earlier. And then you're just like, no, because now I've got 3 seasons to watch.
And you do, and you can't help it.
And now you got 4 if you haven't watched it.
Let me say a massive thank you and good morning to Snowdrop Live. Hello, honey. He says Puff says he's a little jealous of Heel versus Babyface.
Oh. Who's Puff?
Puff is a dragon. Puff is a dragon.
Oh, Puff the magic dragon.
Yeah,
lives by the sea.
That's kind
he
of
had
enamored.
No one to play with. He had no one to see. They gave him a girlfriend, and that's not enough. they gave him a boyfriend, and that's why he's called Puff the Magic Dragon. Lives by the sea. There, that one.
We love Puff. Puff is awesome.
That's a great song as well. Yeah, hey, don't be jealous. Just have love in your life.
Big thank you to Snowdub. Thank you, sweetheart. We have got a £2 super chat from the Uber Geek. Thank you, man love. He says,
it's got a hate boner for Sam. This
I've hated Sam LaRusso since season 1. That's okay. That's okay.
I really liked a double kick in the first episode of season 4. Yes. Where you get the leg up and then you do the kick and then you bring it back and then raise it to a higher kick. That was really well done. I like that. And you do it really quick. Like the Chung Lee kick.
Yes.
From Street Fighter.
It does kind of make you want to learn martial arts again, but then you realize that you're past 30 and you're probably going to break something if you try. Yeah,
I'd break everything would snap. Everything would snap. Everything would break. I wouldn't be able to move after it. No, yeah.
Do you remember that scene from Death Becomes Her where they fall down the stairs? That's what would happen. They just break apart. Exactly.
Yeah. I'm a be a voyeur on this one and just watch, if that's all right.
And nothing is wrong with that. That's just fine. And again, from the Uber Geek, thank you, honey. He says, unless you guys drove brand new Audis when you were 16, I'd say it's California elitism.
Oh, she's definitely got an elite life. Mm-hmm. What I was debating is whether her attitude was from elitism, and I don't think it's from elite. I don't think her attitude's from elitism. I think her attitude is just Tori's my enemy because she did this, and it's attached to Robbie and it's attached to Miguel, you know. So it's just, I think, teenage kids' jealousies and prejudices that you get from school life, or from this case dojo life. So I don't think it's Californian elitism which is driving her motivations, but she's very much a princess. Don't get that wrong.
She is, yeah. She's got a very easy life. I think it's easy to say.
Yeah.
She's in the environment that she's grown up with. But like you say, she can't get away from this kind of combativism with Tori, because it's either she's at school and she was there until Tori got expelled, and now she's been brought back because of her mum, and she's so pissed about that. And then
but it's good because they did this. You know, one of the themes of this season was social status. Miguel, you know, they were talking about where Miguel's going to go to college, and he wanted to go to one place, and it's very expensive. So, you know, they were kind of like offering him the lesser choice, which would have been the more affordable choice. And you know that Sam's not going to have that problem.
No, it doesn't even factor.
Yeah, her parents are going to be able to pay for her to go to whichever college that she wants to go to, but Miguel can't. He has to, he has to get what he can get. Now, if he can get a scholarship, maybe, you know, hopefully, blah, 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 who knows? But otherwise, they were talking about the money to try and raise for him to go anywhere and do something. So they did address, you know, the social aspect of him versus Sam, because they're dating, and there was that sad. Well, there was a little sad bit where Miguel was like, "I don't think Danny's going to think I'm good enough for his daughter because I don't have money."
Yes,
and
that's the one thing I will say about Sam. She's never kind of held that over him. She doesn't have that kind of mentality.
But Danny hasn't either.
No, exactly.
But this is a Miguel, you know, this is a Miguel thing, and it's sad, but at the same time, fully understandable why Miguel's feeling that way, because Miguel's he's a really good kid. You know, he's matured really well throughout the 4 seasons. And this season he was like almost like peak Miguel. And he's just having normal people thoughts. So this is why I don't think this is why this isn't a soap opera. This is a really cleverly written show with a lot of nuance.
I agree with that. I think just to kind of brush it off as something that's like a teen drama, I think you're not giving it the credit that it deserves. Definitely.
No.
Big thank you to MB Geek Let's Talk. Thank you, Jesse. Says Cobra Kai still gold standard for how you do an IP from the 80s. Loved Hawk's arc this season. Oh boy, Tori for season 5 after what she knows at the end. Yes, that is a good point. Tori's the only one that knows that Silver bought off the referee.
And who's going to believe her?
Exactly.
Robbie.
Yeah, Robbie. Maybe
will any of the
Amanda.
adults believe her? Maybe she'll go see Kreese.
Yes. Maybe she'll go see Hilary Swank.
Maybe she'll go see Hilary Swank. Yeah. But yeah, one of the that social discussion we're just having, somebody in the chat just mentioned one of the beauties of that was as well that when Danny's having that talk with Miguel, he talks about how he didn't even go to college.
Yeah,
he didn't even go to college, and he made some terrible decisions with his money.
Bonsai trees.
Which bonsai tree shop, and then trip to Japan, and all this lot with all his college fund and whatnot. He just blew it all away. So yeah, Danny had to start from different places, and Miguel's probably in a better place than Danny was.
Yes, and I think that's why Danny sees so much potential in Miguel, because he sees himself in him. And I think again it goes back to the reinforcing the need for strong male figures in people's lives, especially these kids. Absolutely.
You need good, strong male role models, and they do the. It's just they just do it so well, and the jealousy that Johnny felt because he saw Miguel bonding with Danny, and he
didn't want dinner with him because he'd already eaten. Yeah.
Oh man, and he's like opening up his Coke for him and everything. And...
yeah, trying to make him a man witch, and he's adding more.
I love it. He's making the chili, and he just eats. It's just like takes a bite, eat of it. It's like. Not manly enough.
Not manly enough.
Puts all the fucking what's it called? That
beef jerky.
Beef jerky in it, yeah.
God, that looks disgusting.
Needs to be more manly. More meat.
That's why just jump a dumbbell in there and be done with it.
Because when he goes around to the Russos for that party, well not party, but the two families coming together, and he's just like, that pizza's got 4 different meats on it. That's a manly pizza.
That's a manly pizza.
I like that. Yeah, it's never changed, Johnny.
It did look good, though. To be fair, it did look. The chili was nasty, but the pizza was great.
It came from the Russo stone cooked oven. I mean, come on. That house is ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous.
I love a pizza oven, but we're getting off topic. So let me get back to the super chats.
I just have to set fire to part of my house and then just see if it cooks. Shove a pizza on before the fire engine comes.
Griever Enterprises, thank you, honey. He sends us a $5 super chat. It says just marathon the whole show all weekend. Loved it. Hi, Tori is fit as hell, and Samantha is near the cause in every issue of the season. Yes.
That's true. Samantha's basically the bane of Tori this season. Pretty much everything that goes wrong with Tori is Samantha's fault.
Sometimes inadvertently, but it just happens to swing back around that it's either through her mom interfering or trying to help, and then it kind of comes back to Sam, and then Sam blows up. It's like, oh god.
But who won in the fight?
Exactly. Yes.
Boom.
And she will not believe her that it was a accidental hit. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was.
It was. I think it was. I don't think she intentionally. And the fact that she was told, now that she's injured, go for the eye again, take that eye out. If she can't see, she can't fight. And she says, no, if I'm going to win, I want to do this on my own terms. I don't want to cheat to win.
Cheat to win.
Hello and good morning to Mr. Tickletrunk. Hello, honey. He says, sir and milady. Tips Fedora twice. Always good to see you, milady. Thank you, sweetheart. We have got a super chat from Mexican Iron Man for $4.99. Thank you, sweetheart. He says, amazing and awesome to see two of our favorite YouTubers cover entertainment that's actually good. Smiles are a great way, and this is a great review. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. Much appreciated.
Mein Herr from Mexico.
We've got a $5 super chat from Rookie Critic. He says, hey, I'm still early at season 2. I'm a slow binger. Nothing wrong with that. Once I missed the first season, I got in at season 2, and then I kind of took my time and watched both of them back to back. And then when season 3 and season 4, I watched them as soon as they dropped. He says, are you guys worried about the quality will diminish in the next season?
Not based off this season. Not based off this season. I'm very excited for season 5. I think they filmed them back to back, and
they did.
This one's already done. So if they brought that attitude from season 4 into season 5, season 5 is going to be a humdinger.
Yes, I was a little bit worried with the transition to Netflix, but obviously that was unfounded. So I'm fully expecting season 5 to be just as good as season 4 was.
See, yeah, I think season 4 is right up there with season 1.
I do. Like I said, dipped a little bit with the middle 2, but we're back on track and absolutely loved it.
And look, when you say I don't think it dipped much.
Oh,
this is a show that's had
it didn't take a nosedive by any means. No, not at all.
Very, very high quality show.
Uber Geek Big, thank you, honey, says Cobra Kai season 3 available for pre-order on DVD, Blu-ray, physical media, always and forever. That I will agree with, absolutely. As soon as they do like a compilation or a box set once it's finished, I will be getting that.
Yeah, somebody said to me the other day, are you going to get the Ghostbusters Blu-ray 4K set, whatever, and then tear up the code of Ghostbusters 2016? And I was like, I don't even have to. I've got Ghostbusters 1 and 2 in 4K. That's all I need.
Yeah.
Don't need Afterlife, and I don't need Answer the Call.
I liked Afterlife, but if I was going to get it, I wouldn't tear up the code. I'd just leave it in the box and just never redeem it.
This is how you do this Cobra Kai is how you do a franchise. Ghostbusters was no, that wasn't Ghostbusters. That was just worshipping something which is weird. It's just like trying to give something too much reverence, in as much as that's not what Ghostbusters was about. It was about a bunch of slobby, very cynical, underhanded people who were trying to make a buck.
Yeah.
And ghost collecting just happened to be their modem of work.
Pretty much. I mean, I know we're getting off topic, and I will get back to the super chat in just a minute, but you could have taken those 4 characters and kind of slotted them into pretty much any franchise, and it still wouldn't have worked. It just happened to be Ghostbusters that they latched onto.
What, for the female one? For the 2000?
Yeah.
It wasn't made with the right reasons. When something isn't made with the right intentions, it's always doomed to failure. It was simply made, we're going to do a Ghostbusters, but women. No, that's not a reason to make a Ghostbusters like this 355. It's a spy film, but just women. And you're like, right, and
yeah, what else have you got?
So we got
there's a reason.
I got a 355 video coming out today as well.
Nice. You know what? I completely forgot that the film existed, and I'm
It's all right. So did everyone in the world.
kind of glad that I did, to be honest. Let me say a massive thank you. We've got a few new members. So we've got Ruben Hayes, who was joined. We've got the lovely Jennifer Cisco, the awesome mod, my mod sister. And we have got Snorter Poopers Cuba. Thank you so much, guys. I love that name. It's such a good name.
Ladies.
And a big thank you to Wilfred Romeo Torres. He sends a $20 super chat. Thank you, sweetheart. It says, thank you for the great commentary the two of you provide us. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Much appreciated. I'm going to jump back to the chat and make sure I haven't missed anybody, because I think I have. I did indeed. Let me grab this. So we have got one from Brandon, the anime guy. Good to see you. He says, hello, my lady. Hail as. We'll catch this on replay since I've not seen season 4 yet. Glad you're all well. Also, Johnny Lawrence is the Karate Kid.
Yeah. Cobra Kai never die.
Love it. And I he's so endearing. I love that he's trying to get into social media and he doesn't know what a hashtag is. He calls it a hash brown.
Brown.
You're reading these messages that he's tweeting and he's only got 1 follower. Dude.
You're his only follower, Miguel.
Who are you yelling at? Nobody's seeing this.
Isn't that social media summed up, though, in a nutshell?
Pretty much, yeah.
A lot of crazy people just shouting into the void, hoping somebody can hear them.
A big thank you to Andy Masters, and thank you, sweetheart. He sends us a $2 super chat. Great to see you. It says, my master is over 70, moves faster than 30-year-olds.
Oof.
That I believe. I was just saying it just from a layman's perspective. If I was going to take up martial arts again, I think something would break off, to be honest. I don't think I'd be able to do what I could do when, back when I was 18. Take that as you will.
Warming up, I'll be out of it.
Yes.
And stretch, and it's gone. It's gone.
Oh my god. And we've got a super sticker. Alright, I've got to go check what this is. Alright. It's a hot dog. Thank you, sweetheart.
Hot dog.
Hot dog from Stretching Jack Murphy's Poo Ring. Thank you so much.
Such a beautiful thought.
I love the internet. I love YouTube.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you so much. Oh my god. There we go. Yeah. She got it. Hot dog. Thank you. So, guys, I think that kind of sums it up. I think you from what we are as and what I've been saying, it is a fantastic show. It's not a show that has dipped in quality. It has an amazing cast. It's got fantastic choreography. It's got characters that you want to follow, that you want to believe in. It's got great music. The soundtrack is awesome, especially if you get it on vinyl. It's a joy to watch, and it's so rare at the moment to have this sort of show, and I'm so glad that we have it, and I am gonna keep talking about it, and when we get the next season I will be reviewing that as well, because we don't have enough good entertainment at the moment. How about you, Us?
I'm just happy. I'm just happy that I had something great to watch and thoroughly enjoyed it, and I know that there's another season already done. It'll probably come out December. But yeah, if this show just retains the quality that it has at the moment, everyone wins, because it's such a well done show, and it's there for everyone. Everyone can enjoy this show, absolutely everyone, and yeah, it's great to see in a entertainment industry that's gone crazy, literally crazy, that there are some people that still just want to entertain people, and this is what this is. This is just prime entertainment.
It is, absolutely. And I've seen this comment a couple of times in the chat, and I just wanted to address it, see what you think. So because they've finished season 5, it's filmed, it's done, it's in the bag, do you think we're going to have to wait until the December of this year before we get the next season, or do you think we're going to get a late summer release, as some people are suggesting?
I would think December.
I think they're going to stick
just because
with
you got
it,
it done
honest.
doesn't mean you're going to rush it out.
Yeah.
They got to give people time to see this, and you don't want to overdo it. You want to give some breathing room as well.
I think so. There is such a thing as having too much of a good thing, and I think obviously we've only just had the season drop. People are still enjoying it. People are still watching it. We're catching up with it. I think keep the formula, release it in December as they have done with all the previous seasons, and give people something to look forward to. Come the new year.
Yes.
Yes. So I think that is the best way to look at it. And a big thank you. Good to see you, Faye. She says, great stream. Take care, everyone. As in Purple Valkyrie. Thank you, sweetheart.
Thanks, Faye.
Before we let you go and let these awesome people go, what have you got coming up as?
Well, in half an hour on my channel, awesome anime returns, and we'll talk about more positive stuff. We're talking about Ghost in the Shell this week. From 1995. It's going to have Nina Infinity, Literature Devil, and Mandy Summers, as well as myself. So we're going to do a bit of that. And then when that stream finishes, I have another second video for the day coming out as regards to the 355 and how woke Hollywood is literally falling apart right now. And it's all thanks to a Spoderman, believe it or
not. Good old Spoderman. Again, but it shows you what happens when you give people what they want.
Crazy, huh?
Crazy idea, but who knows? Maybe it'll catch on. We can but hope.
Maybe not.
So, guys, let me say a massive thank you to us for taking time to sit down and chat with me today. Always a pleasure when we get to hang out and talk. It's always a fun one. And just quickly, Brandon says,
thank you for having me.
Ghost in the Shell 4K is top. Very few 4K anime. Absolutely.
I don't know. I don't care if it's in 480 or 4K. To be honest, Ghost in the Shell is just such an amazing anime. But yeah, it's great that nowadays we can have them in 4Ks and stuff like that. Because,
and again, get your physical media and keep a hold of it, definitely. So, guys, let me say again a massive thank you to us for joining me today. A huge thank you to everybody in the chat. You guys were absolutely on fire today. We had some amazing comments. Thank you so much for everybody for sending super chats, for super stickers, for becoming new members. I am incredibly grateful to you guys. This has been an absolute joy to do. So huge thank you to everybody today. And I will be in the chat as you show in about half an hour.
Yay!
So have a fantastic day, guys. Much love to everybody. And if you haven't already, give Cobra Kai a look, because you will not regret it.
Cobra Kai never dies.
Hell yes. Thank you, guys. And take care.